afternoon, everyone. I'm very grateful to the organizers for inviting me to speak. In this short time that I have, I'd like to just share with you what the British Council does with schools. British Council has been working with schools since 2003, and over the years we have a large spectrum of products and services that we offer to the school sector. But before we go on to what we do with schools, I'd like to share with you a bit about who the British Council is and what we do. Though it was very nice to meet a lot of friends in the audience, but I'm sure that some of those who have worked with us would still not be able to get the whole range of stuff that we do. So as you know, the British Council is UK's international organizations for educational, for cultural relations, and a lot of our work that we do happens, all the cultural relations happens through three key pillars. It's around art and culture, education and society, and English. And interestingly, all the three pillars of work that the British Council does is touched by something or the other that we do with schools. So one or the other of our projects involves school. So one of the things that I wanted to share with you before I shared anything else was this is the year that British Council is celebrating pardon, the 70th year in India. So 70 years ago, we opened our doors and we created the first British Council here in India. And we are celebrating our 70th year. So we had a projection on our building, which you can see, and we celebrated by giving away 70 scholarship to young women in science and other subjects. So we gave away awards to people. Besides this, throughout the year, we had many interesting initiatives that we've done to celebrate. But the strapline for our 70th year celebration is inspired by India, because over the years, since the British Council started, the whole relationship around the world has changed, and the relationship between UK and India is more mutual, more collaborative than it has ever been before. So that's, I did want to share that with you. To tell you a bit about how we work with education systems, with teachers and learners, and we focus on outcomes. So that's the kind of model around which we work. When we work with education systems, we work with things such as frameworks, standards and recognitions, and capacity building at the level of collaboration. So some of the interesting things that we've done, which perhaps doesn't get so much focus, is the work around head teacher quality framework, which was done in a partnership between, in a bi-governmental, bilateral treaty, and a program called UK-India Education Research Initiative. They put in touch NOEPA with a university in the UK, and they came up with the standards for head teachers. So that kind of government level interventions also happen. But besides that, we work with teachers. So a part of our work that we do in capacity building is the one that perhaps finds a lot of, reaches out to the maximum number of people, and we get to hear about it most, and I'll tell you a bit about it in a moment. We also work with learners, and we create for them resources. There's assessments, so there's all kinds of support systems around resources that we create. And lastly, we're very based on what outcomes will happen as a result of our interventions. And we want that as a result of what we do in schools, we have able and skilled young people, confident with the right heart and spirit as well as skills. We want confident teachers who are able to support learning in this ever-changing world which is challenged by technology. And we want efficient systems that support that. So that's the kind of whole framework within which it's, the whole, you may see parts of it, but the whole picture is around this piece that we want to develop. So ever since 2003, we've been working with partnership with 14 state governments and 2 municipal corporations. And we have very, very exciting projects, too many to go into details at this moment. But if any of you has a particular interest in the kind of work we do in state partnerships, I'm here after the presentation. Please ask me and I'll be able to share a little bit more information. And where I don't have information, I'll direct you to my colleagues who work more closely on the state partnerships. But the models with which we work in state partnerships are typically cascade model, where we work with a group of master trainers who then train trainers within the system building capacity, and then they go on to train students. So that's the typical cascade model. But we've come up with a blended model where we are able to use technology to enhance some of the work that we do. And in a new and an experimental model, which we are particularly now doing with the Delhi government, we are working directly with learners. And it's very gratifying for us to be working with learners directly. In this project, we will be teaching spoken English to 12,000 students in class 11. And those who've just finished their 10th, and we hope that they will get, this teaching will enable them to find new opportunities going forward. But one of the interesting things that we have, and these are open resources, you can see the link below and you can just go on, and this is around system development, is creating frameworks for continuous professional development for both teachers as well as teacher educators. So if you're a teacher and you want to go on a journey of self-improvement, this is a framework that has the spokes on it, provide different kinds of areas in which to focus the improvement on. There are different levels within each of these groups of areas, and there are various methods by which you might want to reach the highest level, which is when your practice is completely integrated. So you move from being just aware of about adding, let's say, digital elements or technology into your teaching. You're a teacher who wants to add technology. You're only aware of technological resources. You may just try out with a PowerPoint presentation, to being a completely engaged, technology-driven teacher who can use all the perfect tools at the appropriate time and at the appropriate level. You would be at the last level. So there are descriptors available. It's a kind of rubrics for teaching and an observational tool. It's used often by people to do self-learning. You can do a self-assessment as a teacher. You can do it with a critical friend, and you can do it with an expert. So you can use that. And because a lot of our work is around teacher educator, because we use the cascade model most frequently, we have a teacher educator framework. So those of you who run big chains of schools and are interested in creating a group of resource person, in training that you might want to look at what teacher educator frameworks have. And we have academic support available. If over and above this you would like something customized for your schools, please do talk to my colleagues or write into us. One of the most popular and widespread programs that we do is called International School Award. A lot of the schools do it, but the award part of it is a bit misleading because it's a benchmarking scheme in a sense, and the idea of the award is that you open the window of the world to the children in your classroom. You seek within your curriculum opportunities to engage in a 1:1 or a most sort of immediate way with the world outside your immediate boundaries. And the whole process, because we've had a lot of schools, so we have a lot of knowledge about those who go through with it, and teachers and schools that have done it have said that what it encourages us to do is to become innovative about the way we do it, to allow our young people to make real connections with those who are beyond their immediate boundaries, to bridge the cultural divide, and to gain confidence in dealing with people who don't look like us, who don't speak like us. Because in today's world, nobody is going to be confined to working in the same city where they were born. And even if they were working in their own country, they might be dealing with people whom they've never met before, whose names sound strange or come from places we haven't heard of. So this program aims to make them comfortable with all kinds of cultures, to understand the world a bit better. And we do this through capacity building, through a critical review of action plans and portfolios of evidences, networking and celebrating and innovative teaching. That's what it does. And very pleasantly, we've been surprised because it's created a cohort of like-minded schools which are able to support one another. So it's not a competitive effort, it's a collaborative and a very engaging professional activity that a school can do for itself. Besides these, we are beginning to make, there's one offer that we've been doing for some while under a program called Connecting Classrooms, which is about developing core skills. So we have a Fulham and Langworthy model of what these 6 core skills are, and some of them are things like creativity and imagination, critical thinking and problem solving. It's like student leadership and motivation, digital literacy. So these are some of the core skills, and the core skills workshops help teachers understand the pedagogy of embedding core skills within their curriculum. So one thing that British Council never ever suggests is that you don't finish your own curriculum, you add hours to the teacher or change the structure of your school day. But what we strongly believe is that innovations like these, like International School Award activities or core skills, need to be embedded within the framework within which your schools do. And one of the exciting things that core skills allows us to do is all the models of our capacity building have certain principles. And some of the principles around that is that you begin and you give input, you allow the practitioner to demonstrate it. So all our workshops end with an action planning. So there's always something that you go away and you can immediately do in the classroom, because that is the key to learning. We can put people inside a training room, but the minute they step out, unless they have a roadmap in their hands as to what they should do, they wouldn't be able to achieve that. So that's one of the things. And then we ask them to come back after an extended period of time, a 6-week period, where they come back to reflect and give a short presentation on what they have done in the classroom. And that idea that I have to come back and present what I have learned drives them to practice that in the most sincere way that they can. Having been a teacher myself, and I always say this, that the newly trained teacher is the loneliest person in the staff room, because everybody is going to say, you're the one who's got the training, we want to do things exactly as we've done before, and we don't want to change the way we do things. So one of the great things about making people, overcoming what is known as training loss is to create an enabling environment for any kind of innovation, any kind of change to happen within your schools. And to do that, you need leadership, not just at the top management level, but leadership at every level. So one of the things that we're just beginning to think of rolling out, and we are scoping, and we hope to do it if we have a substantial interest in it, is to look at leadership for middle schools, middle school leaders, I should say. So these would be leaders who are typically section in charges, who are primary schools heads, vice principals, heads of departments, subject departments, maybe heads of other kinds of activities, arts, cultural affairs, students' bodies. Anybody in your school who has the potential to lead, has administrative acumen or desires to have it, would benefit from this, because it would give them some structure within to look at their leadership. Because however good a teacher is or an administrator is, there is an element of being a leader that needs to be thought through. So maybe, some of it would be, there would be natural talent, but if the talent is anchored in understanding the fundamentals, it's going to create a value for money in terms of what we want to get done within our school. So that's one of the things that we do. And just for the interest, we also offer CELTA courses, which is English language teaching courses. These are about 1.5 months intensive English language teaching courses, and they are run from our teaching centers, and they are one of the most top quality English pedagogy courses that we have on offer. So if anyone's interested, might want to sponsor somebody to do it, they could do that as well. To tell you that from the state projects and the work that we've done before, a lot of our resources are available for free. So a lot of these frameworks, things about our programs and how they have been approached, all information is available on our website. So if you want to go back and have a look, please do visit and take a look at our resources. The other thing that we have on offer is our library. So if you are lucky enough to be situated in the cities where our libraries are or within easy striking distance from them. So we have our libraries in Chandigarh, in Delhi, in Kolkata, Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore, Pune, and in Ahmedabad. We have physical presence there, and we have institutional library memberships which schools can take up, which offer film screening for their students, workshops. You can borrow our books and create an extension of the British Council Library in your school libraries. We bring together institutional library heads and librarians once in a while, and we offer them capacity building. And schools that are on our list get priority invitations when we have different programs and projects which we are either piloting or for which we have different kinds of offers. In case you're not situated in a city where we have a library, you can go on to our online digital library membership, which is anywhere and anytime, unlimited, and it's got education as well as entertainment within it. And lastly, we have the typical individual membership and a family membership offer. So, but to the schools principals here who are from Delhi or nearby in the NCR region, you might want to consider what we have and see if that is of benefit to your schools. Lastly, we also work, so there was this little debate amongst ourselves whether we should do it. We also work in the higher education sphere, and each year we have education exhibition. So if your school has young people who are interested in studying abroad, we do an Education UK exhibition every year in November and in February. So 24th November this year in Delhi, and they will be in other places. So if you are from other cities, do keep an eye out on when we're doing it. Sometimes we have visiting universities who request us for a workshop, or they would like to talk to your students. We make this offer as well from time to time. So please do write in and be in touch with us if you would like to host UK professors or visitors when they come in. And also, we have counselors' workshops on writing SOP and other things which we will be coming up with shortly. So do stay in touch with us. Visit us. I'll be available here and in our 35, stall number 35. So if you're visiting, do come and grab me anywhere. If you want to ask, and you can write into us, visit our Facebook. And I do hope that you had, this information was helpful to you. I'm very happy to take any immediate questions if there are.